When we think of Christmas carols, we probably imagine cheerful tunes about snow, family, and holiday joy, but behind some familiar songs, there are eerie, unsettling origins that just might surprise you. These are dark messages hidden in Christmas songs. One of the most well-known Christmas songs, I Wonder As I Wander, seems like a lovely, peaceful tune on the surface, but its origin story is actually pretty dark. The composer John Jacob Niles created the song in 1933 during the height of the Great Depression. Niles was walking through a poor Appalachian town in North Carolina when he encountered a family on the brink of eviction. As they were struggling to make ends meet, a young girl described as, quote, tousled and unwashed came out of the home and began singing a few lines of a song. Niles offered her a quarter each time she sang the same 3 lines over and over. She never gave him more than that, but Niles took the melody she sang and used it to create I Wonder As I Wander. The song's lyrics speak of Jesus' birth, but the way it was created involving a poor, destitute family during a time of hardship definitely adds a somber tone to it. A lot of Christmas carols focus on the warmth and joy of the season. Down in Yon Forest is anything but cheerful though. The song, which dates back to the 15th century, is often associated with dark imagery and dark symbolism. At first glance it seems like a typical medieval type carol, but scholars think it actually refers to much more. The lyrics describe a bleeding knight and a hound licking at his wounds, which might sound harmless, but the deeper meaning is much darker, potentially. Some researchers think that the knight represents Jesus, referring to his crucifixion. Others believe the figure is the Fisher King, a character from Arthurian legend, who's said to protect the Holy Grail and suffers from a curse that leaves him wounded and impotent, his kingdom decaying as a result. There's also been an interpretation that the song is linked to the scandals of the Tudor era, with references to a falcon symbolizing King Henry VIII's divorce from Catherine of Aragon. Anyway, no matter the theory, Down in Yon Forest has never been a cheerful carol. Even the melody, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's kind of haunting and eerie. You might not expect a Yahtzee influence in a Christmas song, but onto us a time has come has a dark history tied to the Third Reich. Yeah, I wasn't actually talking about Yahtzee there. Originally a religious song about the birth of Jesus, it became part of German propaganda during World War II. They were trying to de-Judaize Christmas because, as they saw it, the holiday was a reminder of Jesus' Jewish roots. In their effort to make Christmas more Germanic, the Yahtzees altered the song's lyrics and meaning. The poet Paul Herman wrote Unto Us a Time Has Come as a secular winter song, removing the religious context and replacing with lyrics about snow and winter landscapes in general. While the original religious version never regained its former popularity, Herman's reworked version is still one of the most commonly sung in Germany to this day. So when you hear the song, you're actually listening to a piece of World War II history, one that was used to further the German regime's goals. The Coventry Carol might sound like just another beautiful Christmas song, but its origins are dark indeed. This carol dates back to medieval England and was part of the mystery plays, which were dramatic reenactments of Bible stories performed for illiterate audiences. The Coventry Carol comes from a play depicting the biblical story of the Massacre of Innocents, where King Herod orders the slaughter of all male infants in Bethlehem in an attempt to kill the newborn Jesus. The mothers of these younglings sing a lullaby to their dead sons in this mournful carol. The play and song were meant to help people understand the Bible stories, and the carol was particularly chilling because of its obviously somber subject matter. In modern times, it gained wider recognition during World War II when the BBC aired it after the English city of Coventry. The haunting lyrics, coupled with the city's recent devastation, definitely added an extra layer of sorrow to the song's already very tragic imagery. So on the surface, the Belgian Christmas carol Zwarte Piet seems like a harmless song about St. Nicholas and his helper Black Pete, that's the translation there, delivering presents, but the character of Black Pete is controversial to say the least. In the Netherlands, Black Pete is traditionally played by an actor in blackface, with exaggerated features like a large afro wig, bright red lips, and of course, you know, black paint. Yeah, yikes, it's led to some backlash to say the least. The origins of Black Pete are also dark. In the original story, Black Pete is a servant of St. Nicholas, depicted as a subservient character, despite modern claims that the character is simply sooty from coming down chimneys. Others argue that the tradition is rooted in racism. Others defend the character as harmless fun, but I mean, one of the most confusing Christmas songs, I Saw 3 Ships Come Sailing sailing in has puzzled scholars for centuries, actually. Many believe the three ships in the song refer to the three wise men from the Nativity story, but some researchers think the ships actually represent the skulls of the three magi, which were transported to Cologne Cathedral in Germany. The remains of the three wise men, said to be housed in a golden shrine at Cologne Cathedral, have been a religious legend for centuries. This theory dates the song to 1162 CE, long after the birth of Jesus. The idea that three ships are transporting human remains is a lot less cheery than the traditional interpretation, where the ships are simply part of the Christmas story. So instead of celebrating the Nativity, this song may actually be about the bones of three dead men being taken to their final resting place. The Christmas cat is a well-known Christmas figure in Icelandic folklore, but it's not as friendly as it may sound. The legend of the Yule cat tells of a terrifying beast that preys on youngsters who don't receive new clothes for Christmas. Might seem odd to punish people for not getting new clothes, but the tradition is rooted in Icelandic history. In old times, families had to finish their autumn wool harvest by Christmas. Those who helped with the harvest received new clothing. They'd worked hard. Those who didn't were deemed lazy. So the story of a giant cat that would come to hunt you if you didn't help out started being told to young boys and girls. The Yule cat is also said to share its cave with Gryla, a fearsome ogress who kidnaps bad youngsters and boils them in her cauldron. Gryla's 13 sons, the Yuletide lads, are also known for their appetite for misbehaving young people. Here We Come a Wassailing is a traditional Christmas carol that dates back to medieval England, and its origins are far from jolly. The song is about carolers going door to door asking for food and drink, but the tradition behind wassailing is a lot darker. Originally, wassailing was a way for the lower classes to receive handouts from the lords of the manor during the winter months, or just wealthier people in neighborhoods. It was kind of used as a preventative measure to keep the poor from uprising by giving peasants some food and drink in exchange for their goodwill. But wassailing wasn't always a low-key affair. If the wealthier folk refused to hand anything out, the carolers sometimes wouldn't take it well. There are stories of stones being thrown at homes, fights breaking out. It wasn't at all like the type of Christmas caroling we have today. The Cherry Tree Carol is definitely one of the stranger and more unsettling Christmas songs. It's not your typical nativity carol, that's for sure. The song tells the story of Mary and Joseph, but with a weird twist. In it, the unborn baby Jesus speaks to Joseph from inside Mary's womb, ordering him to pick cherries for Mary. Joseph's skeptical about the whole virgin birth thing refuses, saying that the real father should do it, but then, in a surprising turn, the unborn Jesus performs a miracle, making the tree bend down so Joseph can pick the fruit. You know, it's not as dark as other songs on the list for sure, but it is odd. The history of this last carol, though, is very dark in multiple ways. Back in the 1600s, a Jesuit missionary named John de Brebeuf wrote a Christmas carol meant to teach the Aboriginal Huron people in Canada about the birth of Jesus. He kind of blended elements of Christianity with the Huron culture to try and ease them into being converted. In the carol, Christ is born in a bark lodge wrapped in rabbit skin, and the three wise men are portrayed as chiefs offering gifts like fox and beaver pelts. These elements were his way of making the story more familiar and relatable to the Huron, and considering Canada's really bad track record when it comes to its treatment of Native people, it just makes this song pretty much rotten to the core. And here's what happened to the song's creator. Things didn't end well for him. The Iroquois tribe, who weren't happy with Brebeuf's missionary work, captured him in 1649. They tormented him and other missionaries before burning them alive at the stake. One story goes that they even poured boiling water over his head to mock baptism. So all in all, just not a tune that's gonna evoke as much of a jolly feeling as, say, Frosty the Snowman. With all that said, I've been your host, James, and Merry Christmas, I guess. I'll catch you in the next video.